Welcome to Let Freedom Ring. I hope everybody's having a great week. As you probably saw on Facebook and Instagram, it is 4 years of Let Freedom Ring as we hit our 4-year anniversary. I really can't believe it's been 4 years. It's gone by really quick, but I want to thank everybody that supports the show, everybody that's been on the show. I especially want to thank Merrimack TV, especially Justin, Grace, Colin, who has moved on to CBS, Nick, the head of the studio. So many great things here at Merrimack TV, and I could not do it without them. But so everybody, we really appreciate that. But my guest this week, Megan McVicar. Megan, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, pleasure to have you on. Let's get to know you a little bit.
Sure. Yeah.
Where are you from and where'd you grow up?
Yeah, I'm originally from Malden, Mass. Grew up there, spent most of my life down in Malden. Lived throughout the North Shore a little bit, but spent predominantly most of my life in Malden.
Yeah, and every time, so your husband is Scott McVicar,
Yep.
the co-host of Ringin' Free Thoughts.
Yep.
And I was born in Malden.
Yes, yeah.
Scott was born in Malden.
Yes, yeah.
You're from, my mom's from Malden.
Yeah, right. Scott's mom's from Malden. Like, it's crazy the connections to Malden in my life and so many people I know. It's insane.
Now, is the rivalry with Medford, is that a rivalry or no? Or does Malden have a rivalry?
Yeah, Medford. They actually have
Okay.
the longest, I believe the longest Thanksgiving football rivalry in the state.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it's pretty big.
Nice.
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah.
Yeah, I just, it brings me back there. Now, what are 3 things that everybody should know about you?
Oh man, 3 things I would say is, we obviously know I'm married to Scott, but during the pandemic, I went back to school, got my MSA, my master's in accounting, and I also had our daughter Zoe right before the pandemic started. So that was a whirlwind of a year. The next thing I would say is I'm the youngest of 6 kids.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Not a lot of people know that. When I tell people that, they're very, very surprised to hear that. So that's another fun fact. And then I think the next one would be a funny one. I was trying to come up with things that I could say, and my sister was like, tell them about your first screen name, because it's kind of funny. My first AOL screen name was As If, because I was super into Clueless when I was a kid.
Yeah.
And just a funny tip, I guess.
That's like a classic movie now.
Yes.
Like,
Yeah.
it's almost 30 years old already.
Yeah.
you
It's
know?
it's a classic for sure.
Now, I got to ask, you said your daughter Zoe was born.
Yep.
What happened Scott posted a video. Was she playing she blew like a horn thing in his ear or something?
He took her to school the other day and she had one of those like flutes, and it's super annoying, super loud, and it was either that or the harmonica. He was taking her to school that day and we couldn't find the harmonica, so she picked up the flute and just played it the whole way to school the other day.
Oh man, I saw that. I just started laughing.
Yeah.
Now, being the youngest of 6, what's that like? I mean, that's
Crazy.
Yeah.
Pretty crazy. A lot of fights over the bathroom for sure. A lot of fights over the bathroom. We had one bathroom growing up. But yeah, just wild. There's 12-year age gap between me and the oldest, 3 boys and then 3 girls. But it's great. Like, I love having siblings. There's always been someone there or, something to do. But definitely very chaotic.
Oh, I can imagine.
Yeah.
Because I had 3 brothers, and I thought 4 was a lot.
Yeah.
No, that's super cool.
Yeah.
Now, sticking with the theme of the show, which
Sure.
you may have heard is Let Freedom Ring.
Yes.
We ask everybody this. It is the money question.
Mm-hmm.
But what does it mean to you to be an American?
I think to be an American means to be really have the freedom to choose your own destiny, live your own life, do your own thing. I really think that's what it means to be American. I think that's why a lot of people want to come live in America, because there's just so much more opportunity. And I think you really have the choice to be able to write your own destiny, your own fate, being an American.
Okay. Yeah, I like that answer.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's. I know it's a loaded question.
Yeah.
You
yeah.
probably knew that was coming, though,
I
right?
did, yes.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, it's chasing your dreams, right? We all have a dream, or at least I hope we all have a dream, and it's about, doing what you need to do to reach that goal.
Yeah. No, that's a great answer. I like that. Now, I want to talk about this because, I've heard a lot of hype about you. I've never seen you play softball. Justin Savage has talked you up,
Yes.
a lot of people.
Yeah.
But how did you get into slow pitch softball?
Sure, yeah. So I've played softball my whole life. I started playing softball when I was a kid, played up through high school, didn't play, in college at all, didn't play up until my mid-20s when one of my brother's ex-girlfriends had a co-ed team up in the North Shore in Beverly. And she's like, I'm looking for people to play. And I'm like, okay, sure. I haven't played in a couple of years, but why not? Join that team. Co-ed is great. It's fun to, play with both men and women. But I was like, oh, maybe it would be fun to find a women's league. And there was a site at the time, Sports Fight, I think it was what it was called.
Okay.
Are you familiar with that at
I
all?
haven't heard of that.
No. It doesn't exist anymore, but it was almost like I call it like a dating site for people that want to play like rec.
Oh, really?
Rec sport.
Oh,
yeah.
wow. Okay.
Yeah. So there was there was a ton of sports on there, and there was a girl that posted that she was looking for girls on her team, and I responded and then joined the team, and it's been great. Like I'm still friends with those girls today. One of the girls on the team had a co-ed league team too, so I joined that and have played throughout, over the last almost 12, 13 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. There's a women's league in Nashua too.
Oh, is there? Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
we did a show on it last week.
Oh, okay.
Believe it or not. So, no, that's super cool. That's now you went from, I'm assuming, fast pitch before.
Yes. Yeah.
What was it like? I always ask this question. What was it like when it's not coming in so fast?
It's better, I think.
Yeah.
It's easier when it's just lobbed into you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was there anything you had to do to or were you just naturally good at hitting it? Or?
Yeah, I think it was kind of like riding a bike at that age.
Okay.
I was maybe 24, 25 when I started again. And it was definitely like riding a bike, just picked it back up.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Now, what has been some of your favorite moments playing?
Definitely the people. You mentioned Justin Savage. I kind of feel like I got him into it a little bit.
Oh, really?
I
Okay.
think so.
Okay.
He might say differently, but I used to have him come play on one of my co-ed teams all the time. But I've really formed really good relationships. Like I mentioned, all the girls that I played with on the women's team, I'm still friends with them today. Some of them are actually bridesmaids in my wedding.
Yeah, I remember talking to
Yeah.
people. They're like, "You play softball?" And next thing you know, I was engaged in this conversation.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's just been really it just really helped develop, friendships, long-lasting friendships, and I think that's really what I love most about it is, being able to form relationships. And that's why I'm kind of excited to get back into it because, being new to New Hampshire, I think it'll help enable me to, meet some people and meet some new people and make some friendships.
Yeah, the softball community in New Hampshire, especially where we live,
Yep.
is huge. I've talked about it before, believe it or not, southern New Hampshire is a hotbed of softball, across the country, we're one of the more popular places.
Oh, really? Okay.
We have teams that go down to Florida and other tournaments and win. And it is really popular here. And it is in Massachusetts too. They have really good teams, but this is just one of those areas that people love it. Now I gotta ask this, and I think I know, but I'm just curious, how long ago did you walk away from it and why?
Yeah, it's been maybe 2 or 3 years.
Okay.
I had Zoe in 2020. And then kind of went back kind of part-time, but it was tough because it was COVID. So there's a lot of it was hard to field a team, I feel like. And I feel like that was, part of why I walked away too, because the older we get, the harder it is, especially in the summer, to field a full team.
Yeah.
And every week we were having to, just ask whoever would pick up a glove and play. It became really difficult. And just my own life. I liked having Sundays with my daughter. So that's sort of why I walked away from it a couple years ago. Yeah.
I got to ask this. Did your brother Gary play on the team?
Back in the day, yeah. So he was on the first team that I joined. It was his ex-girlfriend that got me on her co-ed team.
Okay, because I remember I work with his girlfriend.
Yes,
and
yeah.
I remember her saying he was on a team and they were driving there, but they were having a real hard time getting people to show up.
Yeah.
So I wasn't sure if that was maybe the same.
Maybe, yeah.
Same team.
Maybe, yeah.
Weekends have been it's been a thing. As you're right, people get older. Tournaments have become such a big thing too,
Right.
where it is hard to get people to go play all day Saturday.
Right.
Well, how do you tell your wife, husband, kids, I got to go play on Sunday
right.
too?
Yeah.
So our Sunday league, but we're trying to get more people that, aren't playing the tournaments, aren't doing this, get the opportunity to play. And I really want to see the league be somewhere family friendly. You want to bring your wife, your husband, your kids. It's a good place to do that.
Right. Yep.
And I think that's a big part of it.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I'm excited for Zoe to come, watch me play. That's what I'm really looking forward to.
Yeah, it's going to be good.
Yeah.
I'm super excited. And I got to say, maybe you noticed, days are getting longer.
Yeah.
Like, we're going to be out there soon.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. I gotta hit the cages though. I might be a little rusty.
Yeah. Well, there's plenty of places to do PP.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people going a lot late because you can rent out the space. I'm not a big batting practice person. People kind of give me crap about that. But then I go out and they see what I do, and they said, okay, Dan. I got off the couch and hit 1,000 in indoor the other day. They're like, oh, I guess BP is not that big a deal. And I go, I've been doing this a long time.
Yep.
You know. Anyways, that's just for me. I do want to get to the fan questions here because you had quite a bit, so I want to make sure that we have enough time to get to all of them.
Sure, yeah, of course.
First one from Tracy Amanda, whose last name is also a first name.
It's my sister.
Oh, okay. Is Amanda? That's not really
her middle name. Yeah.
Got it. Okay.
I feel like a lot of people use their middle names now as their last names on Facebook or.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of times like your work might want you doing that.
Right. Yeah.
But I always get confused because I'll see the questions come in and I'll be like, her last name's not Amanda.
Yeah.
There's no way. All right. This is interesting though. Would Megan rather fight a man-sized baby or a baby-sized man?
Definitely a baby-sized man. I don't think I could. It's a man, right? I mean, it's a tiny man. I think I'd rather beat up a tiny man than a bunch of little babies, right? Or a bunch of big babies, right?
A man-sized baby.
A man-sized baby.
Yeah, well, yeah, because you're still beating up a baby.
Baby, that's what I'm saying. That's why I'd rather go with a tiny man.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. That's, we cannot condone that on Let Freedom Ring in any way.
No.
Okay, I like that answer. I had to think about that one. Next question from Scott McVicar. He had a bunch of questions. I don't have them in total order here from his, but what would be Megan's name and finisher be if she was a pro wrestler?
It's a good one. I think, when I was a kid, I really liked the IRS. I'm an accountant, so naturally, I think I kind of gear towards IRS.
Mike Rotunda.
Yeah,
all right, okay,
yeah. So I think I would have to stay along that theme because I'm a controller. I'm an accountant, so maybe like the CFO or something. And this one, my finisher would probably be like the bottom line. And I know it's kind of tough because that's like Stone Cold saying, but I really like Naomi or Trinity's one of her moves where I think it's called the rear view.
Okay.
Do you know that move, her move?
When she like turns around
with a butt in the face? Yeah. And I think that would be my finisher.
Okay.
But call it the bottom line.
I like that, I haven't had too many people on the show that said, I was an IRS fan growing up.
Okay.
Because I hated IRS.
Oh, did you? Oh, okay.
I mean, we've met Mike Rotunda.
Okay.
My dog is named after Bray Wyatt.
Yep.
His real name.
Yep.
So we're big fans of the Rotundas, but when I was growing up, I mean, he stole Tatanka's, Native American headdress and tried to sell it, or, he was a bastard.
Yeah.
Sorry for the language, Justin, but yes, How did you get into wrestling, though? I got to ask that question.
Oh, man. It's tough to say. I feel like I got into it in periods of my life. When I was real young, me and my sisters got into it. I think one of our friends down the street were watching it, and we kind of tag teamed along with it. We actually met Triple H in China at a mall down in Mass when we were kids. And then I fell out of it for a couple of years. But then when I was in high school, I got one of those small TVs in my room. And, you only get like a handful of channels. And one of them was UPN.
Oh, okay.
Where wrestling would play like super late. And that was like, because you're limited to like 10 channels back in the day without cable, I just like started watching it again. But then fell out of it again. And then I started watching Total Divas a couple of years ago.
Yeah, you got it.
I started watching Total Divas a couple years ago, over 10 years ago, I think, and that kind of got me back into it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what era, so you kind of started in like the early 90s, came back towards like the late 90s watching it?
Yeah, and then over the last 15 years or so, yeah.
Yeah, because now you're an avid fan of Ring and Free Thoughts every other Friday night.
Yes, I am, yes. Yeah.
Sounds like you are a fan of Chaotic Wrestling as well.
I went to one show.
Okay.
Yeah, I went to one show. Cody Rhodes was actually at that show. And I wish I went to more, but not a lot of my girlfriends or friends are really into wrestling.
Yeah.
So I'm not gonna. I actually went to SmackDown once by myself, but I'm like, no, it's not as good if you need people to go with. So
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll go to wrestling shows, but yeah, I don't think anybody will really go anymore.
Yeah.
So when Shane Douglas came around, I had to go see him, but that was a great show to be at, though.
yeah, it was a great show. I love that show.
Ted DiBiase was
Yeah,
there.
that's right. Yep.
Cody again. That was the
Yep.
third time that's actually, now looking back, I'm like, I saw Cody Rhodes wrestle for Chaotic Wrestling 3 times.
Wow.
Which is, considering where he's at now.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Kind of crazy.
Yeah. Definitely.
And Christian Casanova was still there. Carmelo Hayes. Dijak was having
That was his last match. Yeah.
They wrestled Josh Briggs, who's now in. So, like, all these, like, that turned out to be, like, a star-studded show.
Right. Yeah. It was a great show to be at.
Let me ask you this. Will Cody Rhodes finish the story at WrestleMania?
Hard to say. I don't know. I hope so for your sake. I know you're a big fan.
Big fan of Cody.
yeah,
I will
yeah.
be there.
I mean, I get why he couldn't last year. Like, if he did last year, it would have been
Too soon?
Too soon. Yeah.
All right. Now let me ask one more thing. I'll go back to the fan
Okay.
questions.
Sure.
We and Scott have talked about that on the show.
Yeah.
What do you grew up in the 90s like me. The Rock is now back to the heel Rock.
Yeah.
Do you think that's a better move than having him be that watered down version, that Dwayne Johnson you see in the movies? Or would you rather get this Rock?
I'd rather get this Rock for sure. For sure. Yeah. That's his thing. That's his persona. I love it.
It's so good.
Yeah, it's so good.
I want Rock to tell me how much of an idiot I am and stuff like that.
Jabroni.
He's just so good as the bad guy.
Yes, he is. Yeah.
Mike Bollier wants to know, and he goes way back with your husband here too, my brother. What is your favorite thing about Scott McVicar?
Oh man, I think if you ask me now, it would be he's a wonderful dad. He's a great dad. Probably one of the best dads I've ever seen. He's so great with Zoe. When we first met, I think it would be how genuine he is. Like, he doesn't pretend to be something he isn't. Like, you get what you get with Scott. He's very honest, very true to himself. And I think that's one of the things that I love most about him. He can be funny but quirky. He's a little bit of a nerd, but I love all that about him. But he's just such a really good dad, is really what it comes down to at the end of the day. Like, I got very lucky.
Yeah, you can just see it in the way he interacts.
Yes, yeah.
And I've said that on the show, he's very happy. I mean, you guys all seem very, like, just a happy family.
Yeah, we are. Yeah, for sure.
But quirky, yes.
Yes, definitely quirky.
There's no denying that. I don't think Scott would deny that.
Yes.
Now, another person with a first name for a last name.
Okay.
Ashley Diane.
Okay, yep, that's not her last name.
That's not her last name.
No.
Okay. How do you? Okay, this is a good. This is a really good question. How do you balance working full time, being a mom, a wife to a Lego master, and still find the time to see your family and friends?
Yeah, it's a tough question. I mean, I think I'm fortunate enough to have a great husband who allows me to have time to myself. I know some women that struggle, with being the main provider for their children, and Scott really, balances that load with me. So he allows me to do the things that I want to do. If that's, go out to dinner tomorrow night with some girlfriends, or, if he, just do whatever I want. He really gives me that freedom and allows me to do it, and picks up, I don't even want to say picks up, but he really treats it as a 50-50 when it comes to raising our daughter. Work is tough. I'm actually working kind of 1.5 jobs right now. I'm consulting and working full time, so it's been pretty crazy. But I just think I've always been really good at time management, and I think that's really what it comes down to, like ensuring that you're giving the same amount of time to everyone that you can, or what they need. So I really think that's really how to do it, is just ensuring that time management is on point.
Yeah, I think that's a big piece of it too. But I think you're right, and I'm a single guy. I'm a dog dad.
Right. Yeah.
Which is
Hey,
essentially.
I think it's harder than having a kid sometimes.
Essentially, I'm a single father. But,
Yeah.
But no, I think you're right though. Like I see couples.
Yep.
Now, this is not judging, but you can tell that's not a partnership.
Right. Yes. Yep.
It's one way or the other
Exactly.
and stuff like that.
Right.
And and again, everybody's lives are different, but you're like, it's hard for them to make the other things work.
Right. Yeah, totally.
You know?
Yeah. And that's a great word for it. It's a pure partnership, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I just, and I love seeing couples like that.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
We're back to Scott here.
Oh, God.
How do you pronounce the word coupon?
I say coupon.
Okay.
Coupon. He says I say it funny.
Say it again?
Coupon.
Okay, so I say coupon.
Coupon. All right, because it's coupon and coupon, I guess.
I think
I say coupon, right? I don't know.
I wish I had my mom here to see how she says it
Yeah.
because she's from Malden.
Yeah, right.
Because it could be like...
A Malden thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's true.
But I have heard people say coupon.
Yeah, yeah.
I've heard both.
Yeah.
Is this a serious debate going around? Or is this like in the McVicar household?
He just gives me a hard time every time I say coupon.
No, really?
And I don't think I have like a thick Boston accent. I actually think his Boston accent is worse than mine, and he like picked it up from me. And I don't even think mine's that bad. So for him to give me crap over it is not fair.
That's funny. My mom used to she used to make jokes about saying like park the car in Harvard Yard, and there are real people that I've heard that Boston accent. It's funny how, because you don't seem to have it too thick, right?
No.
And it's like we're not far from Boston. Like, where does that come from?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
Right. I feel like if you're raised with it, you can inherit it. Like, I feel like people from Burlington, Billerica area, which again is closer to Boston, but for some reason their accents are so much thicker than like anyone else I know.
Oh, really? Yeah. Yeah, I can see that. I'm thinking of the people I know from Billerica.
Yeah.
From Brandy Giovino. If you're like, I like, these are like some really good fan questions that we got coming in today. If your life was a TV show, what would it be and the theme song?
Oh, the theme song I think would be, I thought about this one a little bit. I think it's going to be Fat Bottom Girls by Queen.
Oh, okay.
I just feel like it's appropriate. I don't know why. I love that song, and it would be my theme song if I had a TV show.
Okay. What would you name the show?
Oh, gosh. Ugh. I don't know what I would name it. I don't know. No idea. I'm not creative.
Yeah, TV show names can be, we just named this Left Freedom Ring. Was there any, now this makes me want to ask this. I feel like the 90s were a time where, like, the theme show songs were on point.
Yes, I agree with that.
Did you have any favorite, like, theme show songs?
Fresh Prince, like, that's a classic, right?
Yeah, yeah.
That's a classic. I feel like Step by Step, that one just, like, sticks in your head.
I could sing that right now if I had to. Yeah. Someone brought up Pete and Pete the other day at softball, and I immediately was like, na na na, it's in May. There was just so many good. Family Matters had a good. Full House had a good one.
Everything on TGIF, like I think they all had great theme songs.
Kids today will never know the pure joys of TGIF.
Yeah, right.
You know, TGIF is now ringing free thoughts at 9:15 every other Friday. Yes. But little plug.
Yeah, right.
Plug
with
there.
my husband.
Yeah, with Scott McVicar. Who's your favorite member of NSYNC, and why is it Chris Kirkpatrick?
Okay, so you kind of answered that question. So it is Chris Kirkpatrick. I don't know. I was just always gravitated to him, and I feel like he kind of fits. Like, I definitely have a type when it comes to men, and he's just my type. Like,
but even Chris Kirkpatrick.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Scott kind of reminds you of Chris Kirkpatrick.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, facial hair, dark features. Yeah, totally.
Now, I gotta ask this though.
Yeah.
Now, I'm a big music fan. Mm-hmm. I thought the vocals for NSYNC were always great.
Yeah.
Between JC and JT.
Right.
Notice I only said those two names. Chris, the only thing I can think of now, and you're gonna know more about NSYNC.
Yeah.
The song "I Drive Myself Crazy."
Oh yes, that's a great one.
They'd been out for a while, and I was like, he's never had a solo piece, at least in the music videos.
Right.
Why did he not have more? Do you think, like, was it just because the other two were just so good? Or?
So good, and definitely more heartthrobby. And his voice is also very. I'm not good when it comes to like what type of voice you have, but he has a very high pitched voice, and that could be why. Like, it's not they can't sing every song with a high-pitched voice, I guess. I don't know.
And Joey and Lance are just kind of there.
Yeah. Well, Lance has a very, like, bassy voice.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever heard him. I don't think I know what Joey Fatone or Lance Bass sound like.
I do, but I'm a fan. Or I was a fan, I should say.
You went to that show in Hampton Beach?
I did, yes. Yeah, I got to meet Chris Kirkpatrick.
Oh, you met him?
Yeah, I did meet him, yeah.
How was that show?
It was great. It was fun. It was like LFO, Ryan Cabrera, oh my gosh.
Married to
BB
Alexa
Mack.
Bliss. Oh, BB Mack.
Yeah, right. Yeah, they just had a baby too. Yeah.
LFO though.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a crazy story.
Yeah, right.
Cronin there.
Yep.
And the other, they both passed away from cancer
Yeah, I
at
know.
young ages.
Right. Yeah, it's really sad. They're local too. They're all from Boston.
Yeah. The great Larry Bird, Jersey 33. They had the lyric there, but so was he just the one guy singing?
Yeah. But O-Town helped him out too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So what's that show like? Like, is Chris Kirkpatrick singing and sing songs?
No, a little bit, some here and there, but he's more so like hosting it.
Okay.
So it's more so the other bands, and he'll come out and like perform with them for a song or two. But yeah.
Yeah, I saw the advertisements, and I was like, how are they going to do this? From Brandy Giovino again on Chris Kirkpatrick. Follow up, do you prefer Mr. Kirkpatrick circa 2004 or present day Mr. Kirkpatrick?
It's a tough question. I probably prefer him back in like the late 90s when he had like the mushroom cut, because like what girl did not like a mushroom cut on a boy?
Oh, girls like that?
Yeah, back in the 90s.
Kept it, yeah.
In the 90s they did. Not anymore. But now he's a dad, and like now that I'm a mom, I'm like, I like it.
Yeah. I gotta ask this. She says circa 2004, like they weren't really.
That was like,
they were already kind of done.
Done, yeah. I feel like their last album came out in 2002.
Yeah. Because then JT, he goes on to start the solo.
Yeah.
Yeah, his big
2006, I think.
2003 he had Miss Senorita and all that.
Oh, really? Was it that early?
Well, so if we, not that I'm bitter about it, but a little bit. They tried to cancel Janet Jackson.
Right. Oh,
I guess they did.
Yeah.
I guess they did in some aspects.
Right.
2004 is when.
That was the Super Bowl?
That was the Super Bowl.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, that was kind of weird. Like he definitely was the Michael of like the Jackson 5. Like,
yeah.
It was Justin blew up, and then the rest like
didn't really. Yeah.
Which I got to ask you this: do you think JC should have been a bigger star?
I think so.
I'm surprised like he didn't.
Yeah, I think so. I think he did have a solo album, but I don't think it
just didn't do it.
Yeah.
I mean, and Chris Kirkpatrick, unfortunately, like he wasn't gonna do it.
No.
No. Those guys were like, I could only imagine the phone call, and they're like, "Yeah, we're doing it. Yep, I got nothing going on. Let's do this." Scott again. What is Megan's favorite Kevin Malone from The Office quote?
Good question. So I resonate with Kevin because he's an accountant, and he's just lazy, and I just love him. I think my favorite quote would be, I think they're at someone's house watching Glee, I think, and there's pigs in a blanket, and he gets in bed, and he's like, I've always wanted to eat pigs in a blanket.
I remember that, yes. Was that post like Michael leaving the show, I think?
No, he was still in it. That was he was in that episode, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
For some reason, I pictured that at the new boss there. What was his name? California?
Oh, yeah, Robert California.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, I got to ask this because Scott, we would watch The Office in college all the time. Was that something that sort of drew you two together?
Yes, absolutely, 100%. I loved The Office. I watched it religiously back in the day, had to watch whenever it was on. And that was definitely one of the things that we hit it off. He actually used Office quotes.
I knew it.
Yeah.
He used it on his online bio.
Yeah, he did. And when he messaged me too. Yeah.
Really? What did he message you?
Oh, I can't remember what he said. I can't remember exactly what it was because it was so long ago, but he definitely used some Office quotes for sure.
I 100% see that happening.
Yes. Yeah.
Which it was a show, like, I don't know if I could date someone that was like, oh, I hate The Office.
Yeah, right.
Like, what do you ever run into those people that like, oh, I like the British one, which was not good in my opinion. And then they say, well, actually, here's the debate. And me and Scott talked about this. I'm not willing to listen to anybody that said that didn't watch anything after season 1. Because I hear a lot of people like, I watched season 1, it was bad. Kind of was.
Yeah, right. I mean, it was a couple episodes. It wasn't that funny. It didn't, like, it really picked up its stride in the later seasons for sure.
Yeah, they gave everybody a story or like a character.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
You know? So, one of the best shows ever.
Yes, agreed.
And I think Michael Scott is like my number 2 favorite TV character of all time.
Oh, really? Oh, wow. Yeah.
Yeah, no one's beating Tony Soprano.
No.
AJ Guthrow wants to know another fight something question.
Yeah.
Does this come up a lot in your life?
No,
okay.
I don't know.
Would you rather fight one horse-sized duck or 100 duck-sized horses?
That's tough because I wouldn't want to fight a duck or a horse, but I feel like I'd have to go with the duck-sized horses because they would be easier to fight than a horse-sized duck.
Yeah, definitely. You could just kick them.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
But we do not support animal abuse
No,
in any
absolutely
way
not. I could
on
never.
the show. Scott again, he's checking in. Is it pronounced Megan or Megan?
He knows it drives me nuts. My mom calls me Megan. Scott's mom calls me Megan. I think it's just like a Boston thing, but I've always preferred Megan. And he calls me Megan just to grind my gears.
Oh, really?
Yes, yeah, 100%. Yeah, yeah.
I can see that. If you're in an argument, does he throw that out there?
No, he just does it every day, all day.
Oh,
Megan,
okay.
Megan, grab that out of the room, Megan. I'm like, no, it's Megan.
Yeah, I would say I lean towards Megan.
Yeah.
The way it's spelled.
Yeah, right,
You
exactly. It's not like May or however someone else would spell it that pronounces it that way, but I think it's a Boston thing, like a Boston accent thing for sure.
Okay, that makes sense. Here's something I'm very curious about. Kaylee Tourette wants to know best 3 karaoke songs.
That's a great question. So I feel like karaoke is for people who can't sing, but I feel like people get offended if you can't sing. So I always sing songs that I know the crowd will sing because I am not a singer and I can't sing. So I sing Bohemian Rhapsody.
Oh, okay.
I Want to Dance with Somebody. I haven't done this one, but I've always wanted to do it, is Meatloaf, I Would Do Anything for Love.
Okay.
Always want to do that one. I have not done that one, but I would always want to do that one.
That's a classic.
Yeah.
I think the Whitney, that's going to get me out of my seat.
Yeah, yeah.
I love Queen, but I don't like Bohemian Rhapsody.
Yeah, it's overplayed.
Is that
Yeah.
that's maybe what it is over the years?
Yeah.
It's like 3 different songs in one. I guess there are a lot of Queen songs that I'm like, I will skip when they come on the radio.
Oh, really?
That's definitely one of them.
Oh, man. Okay, okay.
Which and I think Freddie Mercury is like one of the greatest singers of all
for
time.
sure. Yeah.
But karaoke's fun. So we used to go to the Grand Buffet.
Yeah,
back
right.
in the day.
I've heard a lot about Grand Buffet.
It no longer exists.
Yeah, I know. They tore it down.
You know, but karaoke, I'm more of I'll sing like an MJ song or
Yep.
Bobby Brown.
Yep. Okay.
Those are my go-to.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I remember you saying that on the show with Scott.
Yeah. Yeah.
Although, have you gone to Lita? Like me and Scott went to Lita Lane's once, and we did some karaoke.
Oh yes,
there, yeah.
I've done that there.
Yeah,
The other side there.
Yeah, the Kegler down.
Keglers.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Not a place I really want to hang out often.
Yeah.
But I have.
Yeah.
I have been there.
Yeah. Okay.
Kimberly Sanborn wants to know, returning to softball, huh? You signing up for a team where you live?
Yeah.
I guess we kind of talked
Yeah,
about
I'm joining your league. I'm excited. Like I said earlier, just to get out there and meet some people and have some fun.
that. Now, is Kimberly someone that you played with?
Yeah,
or?
she was on the team that my brother played on back in when I first started, back in my early mid-20s. And her and I met on that team, and we've been friends. And she was another one that was a bridesmaid at my wedding. And you know, it's great that I've been able to maintain these friendships for for as long as I have.
Yeah, and like I said, we got a lot of great
Yeah.
stuff here. I mean, there's all types of stuff.
Yeah.
And there's all different levels.
Right.
If you
Yeah.
want to play.
Yeah.
So, I like this. Do you remember going to TLC? Because I don't. David Manning. Dave Manning, I should say.
So he's someone that one of my friends that I had wrestling in common with, and him and I went. I had to look it up because I couldn't remember, but we went to TLC back in December 2015.
I was there. Yeah.
Yeah. And we went to the Harp and had way too many way too much to drink, and I don't remember anything.
Yeah. I thought he meant TLC the group because I did recently go to a TLC concert.
No. Yep, tables, ladders, and chairs. Yep.
Okay.
And I looked it up. Like, I feel like, who beat Roman?
I think, Roman lost, but he won the next night.
Oh, okay.
Who was champ?
Sheamus, I think it was, wasn't it?
Yeah, Sheamus. Because Sheamus beat him at Survivor Series when he won, and then we were like,
Yeah.
not Roman.
Yeah.
Because those were in the times. Were you a Roman fan back then?
I was a big Shield fan, so I loved the Shield. Dean Ambrose, John Moxley, whatever he goes by now, I loved him. He was like my favorite, and I loved the Shield. Like, I cried when they broke up.
Oh, yeah. If you ever see that video when Seth hits Roman with the chair, you hear a guy in the background go, "No!" You know.
Yes.
Yeah, I felt like Roman, though, it was another one of those things like watered down Roman doesn't work for me. Mm-hmm. They had him saying a lot of silly stuff on TV, like the time he was like, "Oh, you sound like suffering succotash," and you could tell like he wasn't enjoying the character that they had provided him, and like I didn't want to see him as champion then.
Right. Yeah.
And now it's like he's everything we ever really wanted out of him.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah. I know. Yeah. I feel like he didn't really have any character. Like, he was kind of lame. Like I hated that they pushed him so hard over the years because like even though I was a fan of the Shield, I wasn't a fan of him. So it's nice to see him like actually coming into his own now.
Yeah, it's really good. And I remember, if you remember the Royal Rumble in 2015, so that's January of 2015, and TLC was in December, but he won the Rumble, and The Rock came out, and they were booing. They really didn't want him to win that.
Yeah, yeah.
And then it was still 2016 wasn't a great year, because I remember he dropped the belt or Triple H won the Rumble as for the belt, and then Roman won it at WrestleMania, and nobody cared.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know.
Right. Right.
What a difference, though.
Yeah, totally. I agree.
him.
I agree.
I love the bloodline. I mean, I want Cody to finish the story, but like, I am a Roman Reigns. Like, I'm a fan of that character.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. It's great how they tied it in together with the Usos and everything. Like, it's a great story.
It's been the bit like, and then when they added Sammy into it.
Yeah, that was really great. Yeah.
And then when that was when he hit Roman with the chair at the Rumble. That was one of the loudest pops.
Yeah.
Ever.
Yeah.
You know.
Right.
They've gotten. I think they've got everything they could out of it. And now that you throw The Rock in, now it's like back to being like, oh, this is must-see TV again.
Yes. Yeah. Definitely. Yeah.
You know. I want to get into some top fives here.
Sure.
Very, very curious about this first one. Who are your top 5 favorite wrestlers of all time?
Sure. Definitely favorite of all time is Stone Cold, without a doubt. Stone Cold has been my favorite since I can remember. Definitely The Rock for sure. I mean, he's up there. The Shield. I mean, I'm a faction person. Like, I love, factions. So The Shield is definitely by far one of my favorite. China. Absolutely.
Okay.
China.
Like to hear that.
Yeah. I mean, I really think she set a precedent, for women in wrestling.
She was the Intercontinental, I mean, because people get a little, I don't know, like they don't like the intergender matches.
Yeah.
I can't say like I'm a huge fan of it. I know it's more an independent wrestling thing.
Yeah.
But like, unless it's someone like China.
Right. Yeah.
Like it was believable.
Right. Yeah. Or Beth Phoenix. I mean, she's another one too that kind of really, changed the game a little bit when it came to women in wrestling.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then Val Venus.
Val Venus. Sean Morley, huh?
I loved Val Venus back in the day. His gimmick is just hilarious.
What have you seen any of the things like he says on Twitter? He's pretty out there.
Yeah, I know he's pretty out there. I know like he's probably long gone, but his gimmick was just the best. I haven't followed him or know much about him these days.
I actually had a Venus Envy shirt in middle school.
Oh, really?
My brother he went to one of the shows and brought it back. When you say you like factions, were you really into were you just a WWF kid or like did you like WCW?
Yeah, no, I was just WWF for sure.
So not like an NWO fan?
No, not really, no.
So were you big on like DX and
Yes,
Nation Domination?
yeah, DX for sure. Absolutely DX. Like that was like, China's up there with my all-time favorite wrestlers. I loved everyone in DX. Like, I mean, how can you not?
They really
they ran it.
Them, Austin, and Rock, to me, is what the swing was for WWF.
Yeah, 100%.
You think China will ever get her own Hall of Fame induction?
I don't know. I hope so. I mean, I think it's ridiculous that they haven't. I know they mentioned her, or she did with DX, right?
Yeah, and I was there. I was happy that they were
Yeah.
like giving her dues. It stinks that she'd passed away.
Right. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
But I think Joni, it's the person that did her. There was a documentary on her, like maybe it was A&E or maybe it was Vice. I don't know. It was a local guy that was covering that. I think he was from Londonderry.
Oh, really?
That was making the documentary because she was from the area too.
Yeah. Yeah.
But just like all time, like her life in a way is like a tragedy.
Right. Yeah.
You know?
Totally. Yeah. I hope so. I mean, maybe with Vince being gone, because I feel like, wasn't it, or do you think it was more like Triple H and Stephanie? Like, that's what I always kind of felt like it was maybe them. I don't know. Like,
they always said, and I think even Triple H had said this, that they were afraid, like, you Google China, and it's a lot, later in her life, the pornography thing was very like, what? Like, what is she doing? But like, if you listen to her in interviews, when she was on drugs, it wasn't pretty what was going on with her.
right.
I think she suffered from a lot of mental illness.
Yeah.
But the saddest thing about China was, if you remember, like in 2014, she was kind of she was doing the documentary.
Right.
And she was trying to get well, and she was, and everybody thought she was going to have this comeback, and then she, I think, an overdose with 2 years later.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Really unfortunate.
Yeah, it's a scary thing about, substance abuse and stuff like that. But,
Right.
But, China had a very difficult life.
Yeah. Yeah.
Top 5 favorite movies.
Ooh, it's tough because, like, I feel like Meredith Scott, and he's such a movie fan, and like, I do love movies. I like going to the movies, but I really had to think about this one. I don't like horror movies. I hate horror movies. I hate things that like give me anxiety because I don't like it. More of like a rom-com type of person. I love Father of the Bride, 27 Dresses, obviously The Notebook. I mean, I feel like every woman loves The Notebook. The Butterfly Effect. I don't know if you know that one.
I know it. I've never seen it.
Okay, Ashton Kutcher is in that one. That's a really great movie. Has a really great like story. And then I feel like I got to pick a Marvel movie just because of who I'm married to. Ragnarok is probably one of my favorites in the Marvel universe.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm one of those, I don't know much about Marvel.
Oh, okay.
I've seen Black Panther.
Yeah.
I saw the original Spider-Mans. I want to say I saw X-Men. And I just feel like I don't know. Because a lot of people feel like they killed movies because of how they just mass produce and everything. But I gotta say this about The Notebook. I remember thinking, oh, that's just a chick flick. And then I watched it and realized, like, that is a brilliant movie.
Yeah, it's so good.
Yeah. Makes me depressed at the end. I was like, oh, man, I don't want to get old.
Yeah, I know, right?
I want to know this, too. Top 5 musical artists.
So I'm a big EDM fan. I have like a very eclectic taste in music. Like, I love the fact that you love like R&B and stuff because I love old school R&B. But I'm definitely a huge EDM fan. Avicii is, definitely up there. Another one is Alesso. They're probably like two of my favorite EDM DJs, I guess you could say. Savage Garden. Not a lot of people know who Savage Garden is, but they're definitely one of my all-time favorite bands. Queen. I love Queen. I used to babysit my cousins, and my uncle had like a Queen collection, and when they would go to bed, I would just listen to the Queen CDs, and I think that's how I got into Queen. Love Queen. And then, I feel like I gotta sing and sync, right? We've been talking about them, so.
Okay. As a Queen fan,
Yep.
did you see Bohemian Rhapsody?
I did, yes.
What are your thoughts on that movie?
I don't know. I mean, it wasn't the true story, right? Like, they had to fabricate a lot of it.
A lot of it.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So I'd rather the true story.
Yeah.
I mean, I get you have to fabricate some of it for cinema, if you will, but like, I don't know. I feel like they could have done a lot better with it.
I think they portrayed Freddie Mercury in a way that was not actually Freddie Mercury. I don't think there was this jealousy thing going on in Queen, like they
Yeah, right.
portrayed it.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
When he was throwing those parties and stuff.
Yeah.
There was just so much to the movie that I was like, I don't think that happened.
Right.
And then when I Googled it and looked it up, I go, okay, it makes me not want to watch a lot of these biopics.
Yeah.
Because of, like, I understand that, the writer of the movie and they got to make it into a movie. But when you just fabricate things or make someone look a certain way that they weren't, I have a problem with that.
Right. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Especially someone as big as Freddie Mercury and Queen. Like, it really took away from, like, I feel like it might have put a perception into people's minds that isn't accurate. So kind of takes away from his legacy, I kind of feel like.
I believe that too. I mean, they just did the movie The Iron Claw, which is really good. It was on Von Erichs.
Yeah.
They left out one brother. They made one of the brothers into the same brother. And they said it was just too much tragedy for the movie, but I go, takes away from
the story.
I mean, it makes it even sadder that this is someone that took their own life at 21 years old, and now you're making it seem like his life didn't matter by not even putting him in the movie.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
But yeah, I have a lot of issues with that. And I know they're doing a Michael Jackson biopic. And I do like Michael Jackson's music.
Yeah.
But I do believe he was a monster. And I don't think that's going to be part of the movie. And I think that's part of the true story. I think a lot of the stuff that they've found now, I'm like, this was a very sick man. And to do a biopic on him, I question whether it's going to be accurate.
Yeah.
You know?
Right, yeah. I feel like fame can do that too, though. I mean, like, look at Britney Spears. Like, I feel like people just tried, I feel like that's part of why he was a sick man, or why, mental health is like such a, I couldn't imagine being put in the spotlight like the way that they were. And like, it's just a whirlwind, and I can't imagine what they went through to be sort of that monster, if you will. Like,
yeah, I agree. I think with Michael, in my opinion, just seeing everything is like, I do think he was a predator.
Yeah.
I think when there's that much smoke, there's fire.
Yeah.
And the people that defend him online, like, you didn't know him. It's like, so all these people are lying.
Yep.
That aren't getting this money that you're saying they're getting. And
right.
It just, I don't know if you can, I don't know. I think the legacy for him is not a good one.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
yeah. All right, I want to get into my favorite segment of the show, which is buy or sell.
Okay.
I'm going to give you something again and let me know if you're buying it or selling it. This year, we saw a lot of Taylor Swift in the NFL.
Yeah.
Are you buying or selling the Taylor Swift NFL connection?
I'm buying it all the way. And I'm not a Taylor Swift fan. Like, I feel like I'm becoming a Taylor Swift fan. Zoe is really getting into Taylor Swift.
Yes, yeah.
So I feel like I am becoming, and I feel like Taylor Swift sets a really good, like, she's a really good role model for young women. She writes all of her own music. She's a great performer. But I really do think it's creating a connection between a lot of dads and young girls. A few of my friends have said that. Like, it's great to see, some of the bonds that are forming between fathers and daughters over Taylor Swift in the NFL. So I am 100% buying that for sure.
My buddy Jesse he got tickets for his daughter to go see at Gillette, and he was on the phone for like 2 hours trying to, or was in the line. I'm sorry, in the line thing trying to order his phone for like 2 hours.
Oh wow.
But yeah, I've always liked Taylor Swift. Yeah. I was sad when she left country, but now I understand it.
Right.
Because of how she is a megastar now.
Yeah.
Buy or sell the hit bi-weekly show, Ringing Free Thoughts with Dan and Scott.
Buy. I gotta buy it, right? I'd sell Scott though.
Yeah, I think it's, obviously I'm on it, but I think it's a fun thing, and I like the Friday nights. And,
No, I enjoy it. It's fun to watch you guys. I think you guys just really have a really great, like, connection. Like, you guys really just mesh really well, and it's fun to watch for sure.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's how it was. That was like a Plymouth State.
Yeah.
Like we're living like a Seinfeld type life.
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know.
The only thing is Scott with his shout outs. Shout out. Although, shout out Scott. His birthday was yesterday. Shout out.
Oh, shout out Scott. Yes, that's right.
Him and his shout outs.
I'm gonna start taking a tally every time he says it. Adults using Legos.
Oh man, I wish I could sell it just because of how much I've spent on Legos in my lifetime for Scott. I got him the Home Alone house for our wedding. I just got him some Lord of the Rings thing for his birthday. I love that he has a hobby, but oh my gosh, it's an expensive one.
My nephew loves Legos.
Yeah.
What? How does this go down? Does Scott lock himself in the basement and just push these things together?
No, he just sits at the dining room table and just like, and I mean, it's great because like Zoe's starting to do it.
Okay.
So it's something for them to do. It drives me a little insane. I hate following instructions, but that's like Scott's thing. Like I'll sit down and, put one together or something, but I'm like, I can't do this. Like,
Legos have come so far.
yeah, they have. Yeah. There's so many different, there's just, you could name it and there's a Lego for it.
Yeah, that's wild. That's definitely wild. Yeah. I got to ask this because Scott mentioned this on the show the other day. I've never known much about it, but Magic the Gathering.
Ugh, I don't know anything about it either. Sell that.
I don't understand. I don't know.
I don't understand either. I know it's like a card game. Is it like a role play card game? Maybe I don't even know.
I have no idea.
I would sell that and D&D because I love that he has a hobby, but it's a weird one.
Is he Dungeons and Dragons too?
Oh yeah, he doesn't do the Magic. He does the D&D. He loves Dungeons.
Oh,
and Dragons.
did I have this wrong?
Yeah,
he does the D&D. I apologize.
Yeah.
I get them confused. I think they're the same thing.
Pretty much. I mean, they're role playing games, right?
Yeah. Oh, what a world.
Yeah. Yeah.
Joe Rogan.
I don't know. Probably, I don't know. I don't know too much of his content now, I guess. So maybe sell, I guess. Yeah.
I just asked that. When we started the show, we wanted it to be like Joe Rogan meets, the area.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
But I can see where people have issues.
Yeah.
He says some things. I'm like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, he's kind of off the rails a little bit, right?
I think he's just one of those guys.
Yeah.
Karaoke.
Oh, buy-in. I love karaoke. I love karaoke for sure. I would do it every night if I could. Again, I'm not a singer. I can't sing, but it's just fun.
I just like to prove I know the words.
Yeah.
Like when I'm not looking at the screen, it's like, I know this song.
Yeah.
I know it by heart.
Yeah. I mean, we had it at our after. I mean, I had to have karaoke at our after party at our wedding. Like,
that was my idea. I remember that.
Yeah,
yes.
that was my idea. I was like, we need to have something like there wasn't any bars in the area that were doing karaoke, so let's just have a karaoke at the hotel. Like, this will be fun.
Yeah, that was a good time.
Yeah.
I don't remember what I sang, but that was fun.
Yeah.
I put this in here because I thought one of the questions was referring to TLC, the R&B group.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But it was the wrestling.
Yeah.
Crazy Sexy Cool album. Did you ever listen to that?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'd buy that for sure. Yeah, I love TLC. I saw them, they went on tour with New Kids on the Block.
Oh, okay.
Back in a couple years ago. And I saw them and it was great because I was such a fan as a kid. Like, who wasn't,
I could listen to that album just straight through.
Yeah.
When I went to see them, they were with Shaggy, and I thought they were going to be the headliner, and all of a sudden TLC's coming out. I go, wait a second. So then I was like, ugh, I kind of want to see Shaggy, but I didn't come here for Shaggy.
Yeah.
So we watched through, and he played us because, I was like, oh, we could leave at any time, but we were waiting to hear, what's that song? It Wasn't Me.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Save that till the end.
Yeah, of course.
That's how we're keeping everybody here.
Yeah, totally.
U-Trip softball, USSA.
Yeah.
Is that what you guys played down there, or?
No, just fast pitch. Like I just played for the city. Like
you have U-Trip and then you have ASA.
Yeah, ASA.
It was ASA.
Yeah, ASA. Yeah.
Yeah, I think they go by USA now.
Yeah,
those are like the two leagues. Last one, curious on this, because I have seen things on Instagram where AJ from Backstreet Boys was trying to pitch to, maybe it was Joey Fatone.
Oh, yeah, they're going on tour.
They want to do NSYNC, BSB, World Tour. Buy or sell that?
Oh, my God, I am totally buying that. That is like the dream tour for me.
Yeah. Were you into the Backstreet Boys too?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I was more of NSYNC, but I liked Backstreet Boys too, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I think NSYNC was the better group.
Yeah.
Looking back, Backstreet Boys had like the same percussion in
every song. That's right. Yeah. Every song sounded the exact same.
Yeah. They weren't. NSYNC was a little different. Like no strings attached. If I'm a fan of R&B, I really enjoy that album.
Yeah. Right. Yep.
So, But yeah, anyways, Megan, this has been a blast.
Yeah, thanks for
coming
having
on.
me.
We'll have
Yeah.
to have you back sometime.
Yeah.
But everybody out there, have a great week. Keep your heads up, and yeah, we're gonna be here. We've been here 4 years, and we're just gonna keep going. So, everybody out there, continue to let freedom ring.